The forgotten capsule, the Junkyard, was quiet, too quiet. Cold wind moved between piles of broken machines and scrap metal. The sky was covered in thick clouds. Nothing moved except an old cleaning drone, floating slowly, dropping a large metal object in the far corner. It was a capsule, dented, dirty, covered in scratches. It looked like junk. Nobody cared. The workers at the Junkyard didn't even look at it twice. To them, it was just another useless thing left behind from a forgotten war. They didn't want to touch anything that looked alien. It might be dangerous. It might be cursed. So they stayed away. Elian didn't work for the Junkyard. He was just a scavenger. A simple young mechanic who searched for useful parts. He worked quietly, never caused trouble, and didn't talk much. Every night, after the workers left, Elian came with his small hovercart and flashlight, hoping to find something he could fix and sell. That night, he noticed something strange. Capsule didn't match anything he had seen before. It was smoother, older. The symbols on its side were glowing very faintly, green and blue lines, like veins under the surface. Most capsules didn't do that. Most were dead. Elian walked closer. His boots crunched on the gravel. The air around the capsule felt colder, like it had its own chill. He knelt beside it and touched the surface. It vibrated slightly under his fingers, like it was breathing. He whispered, "What are you?" The capsule responded. A soft click echoed. In the air, a small panel opened, and lights inside flickered. Elian's eyes widened. His fingers moved over the strange controls. He didn't understand the language, but his hands moved anyway, guided by instinct or something else. Then it happened. The capsule hissed. Steam shot out from the sides. The lid slowly rose. Elian stepped back, heart pounding in his chest. Inside was a girl. Not human. Alien. She looked young. Maybe his age. Her skin was pale blue, almost glowing. Her long silver hair was tangled and messy. She wore a thin, torn cloak, not enough to keep warm. Her eyes were closed. Her lips slightly parted. Her body was curled up like a child hiding. From the world, she wasn't moving. Elian panicked. He leaned in, placing 2 fingers on her neck. There was a pulse, faint but real. She was alive. "Hey, can you hear me?" he asked softly. Her lips moved, but no sound came. Then her eyes opened, bright white, sharp like light through glass. She looked at him with confusion, then fear. Her hand twitched, trying to grab something, but she was too weak. She whispered something in her language. It was soft and broken, almost like a cry. Elian didn't understand, but he didn't need to. He knew she needed help. He looked around. No one was watching. The Junkyard cameras didn't reach this far. But still, something didn't feel right. Why was she here? Who had left her like this? Capsules like this were expensive, important, and she wasn't injured. Just weak. Like someone had meant for her to die slowly, forgotten, thrown out like trash. But she was still breathing. Elian stood up and looked back at his hovercart. He didn't plan for this. He didn't know what would happen if he took her. But he couldn't leave her here to freeze. The girl's hand reached out. Shaking, slow, she didn't say a word. He knelt again. "It's okay, I'll help." He wrapped her in his coat and carefully lifted her out of the capsule. She was light, too light. He held her tightly and carried her to the cart. As he laid her inside, the capsule behind them beeped. Red light blinked across the alien symbols, a warning. Elian turned. The capsule's systems were powering down. One last flash showed words on the display. He couldn't read them, but the tone was clear. "Do not open. Do not awaken." He didn't know what that meant, but it was too late now. Elian drove the cart back toward his workshop, hidden in an old storage unit far from the city. The alien girl lay under blankets, shivering but breathing. Above them, dark eyes watched. From the shadows of the Junkyard, something had noticed the capsule, had been opened. and it was not happy. The night was colder than usual. Wind howled outside the metal walls of Alien's workshop. Inside, a small heater buzzed quietly. The space was cramped, but clean tools hung neatly, and old parts lay sorted in boxes. In the center, on a makeshift bed, lay the alien girl. Was still asleep. Alien sat nearby, watching her breathe. He had wrapped her in blankets, given her water, and used every trick he knew to help warm her body. Still, she hadn't spoken again. Her eyes had only opened for a moment during the ride, then closed again. He didn't sleep. He couldn't. His mind kept racing. Who was she? Why was she inside that capsule? And why was she thrown away like garbage? Alien had seen strange things before. Old alien tech, broken drones, even old war mechs. But never a living alien. And never one this beautiful, this human-like. She didn't look dangerous. She looked lost. He checked her pulse again. Better now. Her skin wasn't as cold. She stirred slightly, mumbling something in her sleep. A soft beeping pulled his. Eyes to the corner of the room. It was his scanner. He used it to check for power in junked machines. But now, it was picking up something strange. Energy signals, faint, not from any tech he had nearby. The signal was coming from her. He grabbed the scanner and waved it over her body. The reading spiked near her neck. Gently, he moved aside the blanket. There, just below her collarbone, was a glowing mark, a symbol, circular, shifting slowly, like it was alive. Alien blinked. What is that? The girl suddenly gasped and sat up. Alien jumped back, nearly dropping. The scanner. Her eyes flew open, glowing with sharp white light. She looked around wildly, hands raised in defense. It's okay. Alien said quickly, raising his hands. You're safe. I found you in the junkyard. You were in a capsule. She didn't understand. Her breath came fast, almost panicked. Her lips moved, alien words flowed out fast, scared, confused. She looked like she was trying to figure out where she was, what had happened, and who he was. I'm not going to hurt you, Alien said slowly. Do you understand me? She stopped. Her glowing eyes locked onto his. She tilted her head slightly, then pointed to her chest. Zyra, she said. He pointed to himself. Alien, she blinked. Alien. Then she whispered something else. The word didn't mean anything to him, but it sounded important. She looked at her arm. Her skin shimmered faintly, and the glowing mark near her collarbone dimmed. Then, she winced and held her side. Alien stepped closer. You're hurt? She nodded slightly, breathing heavier now. Alien helped her lie back down. I have medical gel. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. He opened a small box, pulled out a silver tube, and applied a bit of gel to her side. Her skin shimmered again, absorbing it fast. Zyra's breathing calmed. Her hand brushed against his, and for a second, something strange happened. Alien saw a flash of memory that wasn't his. A large room. Cold metal. Scientists yelling, her screaming. Then darkness. He stumbled back. What was that? Zyra stared at him, her eyes full of pain and fear. You're not just any alien, are you? He whispered. Before she could answer, the scanner beeped again. This time louder, angrier. Multiple signals. Coming closer. Alien ran to the screen. A red circle blinked outside the junkyard. 4 heat signatures, fast-moving, not human. Zyra sat up again, breathing hard. She understood now. They're coming for you, Alien said. Who are they? She said a word slowly. Hunters. He didn't need to ask more. He grabbed a cloak and handed it to her. We have to move. Now. Zyra stood slowly. She was still weak but stronger than before. Alien helped her to the back door. Outside, the night air was biting cold. The stars were hidden behind clouds. He opened a hidden panel and pushed aside a pile of junk, revealing a small hover bike. "Get on." They sped off into the dark, the workshop shrinking behind them. In the shadows, glowing red eyes blinked to life. The hunters had arrived too late, but they wouldn't stop. They would track her. Because Zira wasn't just an alien girl. She was something more. Something had locked away for a reason. And now she was awake. Elian's hoverbike flew across the cold desert plains, leaving behind a trail of dust and heat. The twin moons lit the cracked ground, and stars blinked weakly in the sky. The world felt endless. Zira held onto Elian tightly from behind her, head resting against his back. She didn't speak, but he could feel her fear. They had been running for hours. Elian's hands were cold, but his mind was burning with questions. Who were the hunters? Why had they thrown her away? And most of all, what was she hiding? They stopped just before sunrise. A small cave, half buried in a cliffside, became their shelter. Elian had used it before. It was dry, hidden, and silent. He helped Zira off the bike. Her steps were slow, weak again. "You need rest," he said softly. Zira nodded. Her eyes looked dim now, like her light was fading. Inside the cave, Elian gave her more water and food, just simple rations. She took them with shaking hands, biting slowly, as if she hadn't eaten in days. Maybe longer. He sat across from her, watching. Finally he spoke. "You said ... hunters. Why are they after you?" Zira looked down at her hands. "Because I'm not supposed to live." Elian didn't move. "I was made in a lab," she continued slowly, choosing her words carefully. "They created me to be perfect, fast, strong, smart, not like normal people." "A weapon?" Elian asked. She nodded. "They called me Project Z1. I was the first to survive." Elian felt a chill. "So they used you?" Zira's voice was barely a whisper. "I escaped. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to hurt anyone, but they couldn't let me go. So they locked me in that capsule and dumped me with the trash." Silence filled the cave. Elian stared at her. She didn't look like a weapon. She looked tired, broken, lonely. He stood and turned away, thinking. Then he asked the question that had been burning in his mind since last night. "That mark on your skin, it's still glowing. What is it?" Zira pulled her cloak aside and showed him again. The glowing circle was brighter now. Lines pulsed around it like small rivers of light. "It's not just a mark," she said. "It's part of my blood. My DNA was mixed with something ancient. Alien, not from this galaxy." Elian knelt beside her. "What does it do?" Zira looked up at him. "It can heal, it can destroy, it connects to machines. Even minds. That's how you saw my memory," he nodded slowly. "That's why they want you back. They're afraid," she said. "Afraid that I'll wake up and remember everything they did to me. Afraid I'll tell the truth." A sound outside stopped them both. A soft beep. Elian grabbed his scanner. One red dot, small, moving toward them. "Only one," he whispered. "Might not be a hunter." Zira tensed. "Or it might be a scout." Elian looked at the back of the cave. "There's a path there. It leads through the cliffs. Go now. I'll hold them off." "No," she said, grabbing his arm. "You helped me. I won't leave you." "I'm not leaving either," he said. "Just trust me." He pulled a small device from his pack, a scrap-built EMP grenade, one-time use. He had made it for defense, never thinking he'd really need it. Zira nodded and stepped back, hiding behind the rocks. Elian crouched near the cave's entrance, heart pounding. Then, footsteps. A shape appeared, tall, metallic, red eyes glowing. One of the hunters had stepped forward, scanning the cave. Elian threw the EMP. A blast of blue light filled the air. The hunter twitched, then froze. Sparks flew from its head as it collapsed. Dead. Zyra ran to Elian. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," he said, breathing hard. She looked at the hunter's remains. "They won't stop." "They'll send more." "I know," Elian said. "Then we run faster." She looked into his eyes. "Why?" "Are you helping me?" He smiled. "Because you were thrown away like trash." "But you're not trash, you're someone." Her eyes shimmered again. A tear rolled down her cheek. Then, for the first time she smiled, and for the first time. Elian saw hope in her eyes, but far, far away in space, a ship moved toward Earth's orbit. Inside, a cold voice spoke. "Project Z1 has awakened. Prepare for full recovery mission. The real hunt was about to begin." The next morning, the cave was quiet. Soft golden light touched the rocky walls, but Elian was already awake, sitting near the entrance. His eyes watched the horizon carefully. The hunter from the night before still lay broken outside, half covered in sand. Behind him, Zira slept peacefully, her breath steady, her face calm. For a moment, she didn't look like a science experiment or a secret weapon. She looked like a girl, a lost one. When she finally stirred, Elian turned around. She blinked a few times and sat up slowly. Her body moved more easily now, stronger, healthier. Her eyes found his face. "You didn't sleep," she said softly. He smiled a little. "Didn't want to miss anything." Zira stood and stretched. Her glowing mark had dimmed again. "I feel better." "Good," Elian said. "Because we're running out of time." Zira nodded. "More will come. I know how they work. They'll keep sending machines, then soldiers. Then we can't." "Stay here," he said. "But I have a place, farther out, off the grid, no signals. No drones, we'll be safe there. For a while." She looked at him. "Why are you still helping me?" He paused. "Because you deserve to live," he said. "Because no one should be thrown away like you were." Zira's eyes softened. Then she said, "My name, it's not really Zira." Elian raised an eyebrow. "No? It's what I called myself," she explained. "They never gave me a real name. Just numbers. Project Z1. But I heard the word Zira in a dream once. It felt warm, so I took it." Elian nodded. "It fits you." They packed quickly and left the cave, riding fast into the wastelands. The air was dry and sharp. Rock formations rose like towers around them. No signs of life. Hours passed. Finally, they reached it, an abandoned power station hidden inside a canyon. Elian had repaired it years ago. He used it as a secret base for storing rare tech and tools. No signals went in or out. It was the perfect hideout. Zira stepped inside, looking around. "It's strange, but safe. That's what matters," Elian said. She sat down and leaned against a wall. "I don't want to run forever." "You won't," he said. "We'll figure something out." That night, she had another dream. She was floating in darkness, cold, silent. Then voices echoed humans. In lab coats, faces hidden, writing things on screens. She was strapped down, scared, screaming. And then a bright light. The dream changed. She was flying, breaking free. Feeling wind for the first time. And then, being locked in the capsule. She woke up gasping. Elian was already beside her. "It's okay, just a dream." "No," she said, "a memory." She looked into his eyes. "They did things to me, changed me. They said I had something inside me, something from another world, something ancient. They didn't understand it, but they feared it." Elian frowned. "What did they say it was?" "They called it void thread. It's in my blood. They said it was sleeping, but one day it would wake." Elian's heart skipped. "And when it wakes," Zira whispered, "no one knows. Maybe it destroys, maybe it heals. But it's not just power, it's alive." Just then, the old console on the wall blinked red. Alian ran over. "We've got company." Zira stood quickly. "How many?" Alian read the screen. "Not machines. A shuttle, human-made. No ID code. That means it's Black Ops." "They're here for me," she said, voice hard. "We're not handing you over." Zira walked to him. "You could leave." "You don't have to stay." "I'm not leaving you," Alian said. She smiled. "You're stubborn." "You haven't seen anything yet," he replied. Outside, the sky lit up as the shuttle entered the canyon. Inside, armed soldiers checked their weapons. Their leader, an old, scarred woman with silver eyes, stood at the front. "Target is active," she said. "Orders are retrieval or termination." Zira looked at Alian one last time. "If I lose control." "Promise me you'll stop me." "You won't lose control," he said. "Not while I'm with you." The engines of war were coming, but for the first time in her life, Zira wasn't alone. Alian steered the hoverbike across dry land cracked like old skin. Zira sat behind him, arms around his waist, her face against his back. She hadn't spoken in over an hour, but he could feel her tension like fire under ice. The sun had already set. Darkness returned to the world, hiding it in blue and black. They were far from cities now, far from drones' noise and rules, but they weren't far from danger. They stopped at an old structure buried in rock once, a water purifier before the wars had dried up the rivers. Alian had found it long ago and rebuilt part of it. Now it was his hiding place. As he led Zira inside, she turned around once, scanning the horizon. "Do you see something?" Alian asked. She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "No, but I feel something." He didn't like the sound of that. The inside was quiet, dark, except for some weak lights. Alian handed her water and a thermal blanket. She sat down on an old bench and stared at nothing. Her hands were shaking. "You're cold again?" he asked. "No," she said. "I'm remembering." Alian sat across from her. "Tell me." She looked at her palm. "They kept saying I was their greatest mistake. Not because I failed, but because I didn't." He waited silently. "They mixed alien genes into me, something ancient, from a dead world. I wasn't supposed to live past testing, but I did. And the thing inside me woke up. Just for a moment." She looked up at him, her eyes glowing faintly. "I made the lights explode. Broke metal with my voice. I don't remember how. I only remember them screaming. They called it the thread." "The thread?" She nodded. "Void thread. That's what they named it," Alian whispered. "What does it do?" Zira's voice was soft. "It listens, it remembers, and it waits." He didn't know what to say. Zira leaned back, breathing heavier now. Her skin shimmered in the dim light, as if it had veins of light under it. "Alian," she whispered. "Something's wrong." He stood and rushed to her. "What is it?" "My blood." "It's moving," she said. "It's waking up again." Suddenly, the scanner on the wall beeped fast, loud, and then silent. Red alert. Something was near. Alian grabbed his goggles and looked. Out through the cracks in the metal walls. Nothing. Then a noise soft, like breathing. Not from outside. From under the floor. He pulled back the old storage hatch and aimed his light down. The shadows moved and two small eyes blinked up at him. Zira stood weakly. "What is it?" "A kid," Alian said, confused. "A little boy." He helped the child out. "Human, dirty, thin, scared. What are you doing out here?" Alian asked. The boy looked at Zira. "She called me." Zira's eyes widened. "What?" The boy pointed to his head. "I heard you, in my sleep. You were crying. I followed your voice." Alian looked at Zira, shocked. She shook her head slowly. "I didn't do anything." But the truth was in her face. She wasn't sure. She touched the boy's hand, and in that moment, Alian saw it again. Another memory. Not Zira's this time, but the boy's. Hiding, lost, cold, Then, her voice in his mind, Elian stumbled. Back, you reached him, across miles? I didn't try, Zira said, shaking. It just happened. The boy looked at her. You're not like them. You're warm. Zira knelt and hugged the child. Elian felt something shift inside. She wasn't just a lab experiment. She wasn't just power in a body. She was more than what they tried to control. Suddenly, the console lit up again. This time, it wasn't a drone dot. It was a signal, encrypted, military grade. Elian checked the translation. System, message, handover project Z10R be destroyed. Zira read it too. Her face went calm. They know where I am. How? Elian asked. This place is sealed. They tracked my mind, she said. They linked me to their network during testing. A final lock. Can we break it? No, she said, but maybe I can send them something back. What? A warning. Zira stood, her body glowing with quiet light. The mark on her collar pulsed again faster now. Elian could feel the air around her change. The cave felt smaller. Colder, like time had paused. He stepped back. Zira, what are you doing? She opened her hand. Letting them know I'm not alone anymore. She focused her energy, sending not fear, but fury. A signal burst from her body like invisible lightning. Far away, in a command ship orbiting. Earth lights exploded. Screens cracked. Officers screamed. The commander stepped back from her console, eyes wide. She's awake. The commander whispered, but what scared them more wasn't that Zira had woken up Dot. It was that someone, some human had helped her Dot, and now they had no idea what she would become. The cave was quiet again, but something had changed. Elian could feel it. The walls didn't seem like rock anymore. The air buzzed. His skin tingled. Zira stood in the center of the room, glowing faintly. Not brightly, just enough to show the change inside her Dot. She was no longer hiding. She had sent out a signal. Not with wires or code, but with her thoughts. Now the stars knew, and so did the enemy. The child Rin, the little boy who had found them, sat by the wall, hugging his knees. He watched Zira with wide, unblinking eyes. She's not scary, he said quietly. Elian nodded, though his heart still raced. No, she's not. But something about her power, it wasn't just energy. It had memory. It had a purpose that even Zira didn't fully understand yet. Zira sat down slowly. They're afraid of me, she said. But not because I'm dangerous, because I'm free. Elian raised an eyebrow. You sure that's all? She looked at him, eyes glowing like moons. They locked me away to control me, but even they didn't know what I carry. He leaned in. Then tell me, please. Zira touched the glowing mark on her collarbone. The void thread isn't just a part of me, it's a link. A memory of a lost civilization. Elian listened closely. They died thousands of years ago, far beyond this galaxy. But they left behind one thing. A seed of thought. One last spark. That's what they put into me. You mean, you're their voice? She nodded. Not just voice. Their hope. Their last will. Elian looked down. And the people who made you, the lab, the project, they didn't know. They thought it was power, Zira whispered. A weapon. But it's not. It's a memory trying to survive. Silence passed between them. Then a sound came from the scanner, an alarm. A soft tone. Not a threat, a message. Elian rushed over. The screen blinked in soft blue instead of red. A signal was coming from deep space, not Earth-based. Not military.alien.zyra. Stood up. That's not from them, she said. That's from the source. The message was just one symbol, a glowing spiral. Zira stepped forward. The mark on her skin pulsed in response. They heard me, she whispered. After all this time, they heard me. Elian stared. You mean the species that made the thread? She nodded slowly. They're not gone. They're sleeping. Far away, but I woke something, a memory buried in the dark. Alian rubbed his head. And what do we do now? Before she could answer, Rin suddenly spoke. There's someone coming. Alian spun around. Where? The boy pointed to the entrance. I hear boots. He wasn't wrong. Alian grabbed his goggles and looked through the narrow slit in the wall. Dust clouds, 3 figures. Human armor, heavy weapons. Moving fast. They found us, he said. Zyra didn't panic. She moved to the back of the cave, pulled open a hidden hatch in the floor. There's a tunnel, she said. Old miner's route. It leads to the cliffside. Alian nodded. Let's go. But Rin didn't move. I don't want to go, he said. Zyra knelt beside him. We'll come back, but we have to run for now. He grabbed her hand. Will you promise? I will, she whispered. They moved fast down the narrow tunnel. Dust and small rocks fell with every step. Lights from above flashed through cracks. The soldiers were near. Halfway through the tunnel, Zyra stopped suddenly, her hands clenched. What is it? Alian asked. They're trying to shut my mind down, she said. A remote blocker. I can feel it pushing. Can you fight it? She didn't answer. Her body shook. Her eyes went dim. Alian caught her before she fell. Stay with me. Don't let them take you. Zyra closed her eyes, breathing deep. Then the mark on her skin burned bright white, and something inside her snapped. Pulse louder than any scream rushed through the tunnel. The lights above shattered. The soldiers above screamed. The remote blocker gone. Zyra opened her eyes again, clear, focused. I'm done running, she said. They reached the cliffside just as the first explosion sounded behind them. The soldiers had triggered one of Alian's old traps-rigged power cells. Fire lit the night sky. Alian, Zyra, and Rin stood at the edge. Below was a massive canyon, and on the other side, the old ruins of a forgotten observatory. A place where stars had once been studied before Earth's wars burned the sky. Zyra stared at it. That's where we go next. Why? Alian asked. Because the real message isn't just inside me, she said. It's waiting there, in stone, in sky, in time. Alian blinked. How do you know that? Zyra smiled faintly. Because the thread just told me. And now, the race wasn't just to stay alive, it was to unlock what had been buried for centuries, before the enemy could silence it forever. The old observatory rose from the canyon floor like a ghost from another age. Its tower was cracked, half buried by sand and time. Metal plates hung loose, and broken glass covered the stairs. Most people would pass it without a second look, but Zyra didn't pass. She stopped and stared at it. This place, she said softly, her voice distant. I've never been here, but I know it. Alian looked up at the tower. Are you saying the thread remembers it? Zyra nodded. This was once a gate. A message was sent here, long ago. They moved closer, stepping carefully across ancient stone tiles. Rin held Zyra's hand tightly, his small face wide with wonder. It feels warm, though the air was cold. Alian checked his scanner. No movement, no signals. They were safe. For now, inside the observatory, time had stopped. Bookshelves full of dust. Old machines with vines growing through them. A giant round dome covered the ceiling, its panels stained by weather but still beautiful. At the center stood an old projector device, silent but not dead. Zyra stepped forward, placing her hand on the smooth base of the machine. It glowed. Not metal, not electric. Something older, deeper. The mark on her skin responded instantly. Her body glowed from within, veins of silver light pulsing through her arms and neck. Alian stepped back, eyes wide. Zyra, what's happening? She didn't speak. The machine came to life. Light spilled across the walls, not just light memories. Shapes, Languages, stars, alien faces, galaxies collapsing. Civilizations rising and falling like waves. And then, a symbol, the spiral. Zira opened her eyes. They knew the end was coming. They sent parts of themselves across the stars. Not bodies, not ships, just thoughts, ideas, wrapped in code, in blood. She turned to Elian. I am one of those pieces. A living message. Elian blinked. So this place, it was built to receive you? No, she said. It was built to remember me. She touched the machine again. It responded with a deep then projected a map into the air. Dozens of points of light. Only one blinked Earth. This was the last known active receiver, Zira said. The others are silent. Or gone. Suddenly, a second point blinked. Ian gasped. What's that? Zira narrowed her eyes. Another signal. Not from Earth. Elian leaned in. That means someone else. Something else. Woke up? Zira nodded. We're not alone anymore. Then the ground shook. A low rumble echoed. Through the canyon, Elian rushed to the window. In the distance, dark clouds. Dust rising fast. Drop ships. Not just one. At least 5. They found us, he said. And this time they brought everything. Zira didn't move. Her body was still. Glowing. I need more time. The machine is unlocking something. A memory, but it's locked deep. We don't have time. Elian shouted. I'll stay, she said. You take Rin, get to safety. No, Elian snapped. We're not splitting. Again, she turned and met his eyes. If they destroy this place, the truth will be lost, forever. Elian looked down, breathing hard. Then we stand together. Rin tugged his sleeve. I can help too, Elian smiled. Of course you can. Outside, the enemy approached. Inside, Zira reached deeper into the machine. Her hands trembled. Her eyes glowed white. Suddenly, a pulse. It burst from the observatory. Like a wave of invisible sound. The dropships froze mid-air. Their engines stalled. Soldiers inside screamed as systems failed. The ships crashed down into the canyon one after the other. Fire bloomed across the desert. Elian ducked, shielding Rin.Zyr stood tall, glowing brighter than ever. The machine behind her finished its sequence. A final message appeared in the air, one line, translated into Earth's language. The one who remembers must now choose. Zira stared at the words. Choose. What? The ground trembled again, not from the ships this time, from below. A hidden platform in the floor opened slowly, revealing a black crystal sphere floating, humming, ancient. Zyra walked to it. Elian grabbed her arm. Wait, are you sure? She looked at him. No. Then she touched it. Her body froze. A bright light filled the observatory. Her mind was pulled somewhere else. She stood in a place without time. Stars surrounded her. Voices whispered in thousands of languages. All of them speaking to her. She saw her makers. Tall, beautiful beings of light and shadow. She saw their end. Their fear. Their last decision to send their soul into the future, hoping someone would understand. Now she was that someone. They gave her a final gift. Not power, not weapons, but understanding. The light faded. She collapsed. Elian ran to her side. Zyra. She opened her eyes slowly. I remember everything. What did they show you? Tears filled her eyes. They showed me how to stop what's coming next. Elian frowned. What's coming? Zyra looked toward the sky. The real enemy. The one they feared. It's not here yet. But it's close. And now, Earth was in its path.